What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Michelle Renee from IamMichelleRenee.com. And I have an amazing longtime friend here with me today that I'm so excited to share with you. Friend, please tell everybody your name and where you're from and what your brand is.
Yes, my name is Mavis A. Creagh. We don't want to forget that A in the middle. I'm from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, the Dirty South, I would like to call it. And my brand is R3SM, Recover, Rebuild, Restore, Southeast Mississippi. That's a local nonprofit that helps repair and rebuild homes after disasters. Also, We Women Ministries, LLC, was started this year, and I assist with bridging the gap between women from different backgrounds.
Yes, sis, I absolutely love it. Mavis and I went to Mississippi State together, so we have known each other for, oh my gosh, coming up on 20 years. Can you believe that? That's a long time. A
That
long
is.
time. So, you just named two amazing businesses that you're a part of, nonprofits. Tell us a little bit more about R3SM.
R3SM, we were started after Hurricane Katrina. You know, that was one of the most devastating storms throughout the nation. Even though we're in the Pine Belt area of Mississippi, it was detrimental on scales that we never could have imagined, from the coast to up to North Mississippi. It really just devastated our nation and our country, and a lot of the people in their lives were changed drastically. A lot of resources were poured into the community during that time, and our agency was birthed out of that. So even from pain and from loss, a great agency was birthed. From that time, we have been able to repair almost 600 homes, rehabs. Yes, ma'am, rehabs and repairs in the last about 2 or 3 years, since it was a tornado in 2017 that ripped through Hattiesburg. We've been able to repair over 70 homes in the Pine Belt area, and I'm so very thankful for that in that short period of time. And in a span of about 2 years, we also have been able to rebuild from the ground up almost 30 homes through partnerships, donations. We're very thankful for that. We have a lot of wonderful partners, the Pine Belt Foundation here, the Methodist Conference, UMCOR, and Presbyterian. So we're just very thankful about R3SM and what we're doing, able to do in the community. Recently, we have expanded our scope. As you know, it was some devastating tornadoes that came through on Easter Sunday of all days.
Yeah.
And so some of the surrounding communities were devastated, even some lives lost. And so we have expanded our footprint into Jeff Davis County here, and also Covington counties. So in total, we cover about 12 counties in the South Mississippi area.
Wow. Wow, Mavis, what a profound work. I mean, knowing that there is someone and there is a group that's available to assist in the midst or after the occurrence of devastation is truly powerful. So that's amazing work that you all are doing with that organization. So kudos to you, especially in my home state. Whenever I hear about weather patterns forming or things happening, of course, I always, pray extra hard and hope that it won't affect anybody negatively. But to know that there is a team of people that are working to ensure that our communities can recover is truly a blessing. So I'm glad to know that that's the work that you're doing. Absolutely. That's profound work. Let's jump into your other business, which is the We Women Ministries, because I know that started this year, and it also helped to birth a new title behind your name of author, correct?
Yes, I am now officially a best-selling author. I was a contributing author with Trailblazers Who Lead, Unsung Heroes. As you know, a lot of time women, we do a lot of the work, but nobody knows that we're doing it. You're doing amazing things in your community. I'm doing things in my community, but a lot of times they're unsung heroes. The visionary was Kern Crockett Cherry, who does the Success Conference on the coast, one of the largest conferences throughout Mississippi as far as women. And that'll be coming up in October. So if anybody who's interested, and the registration is free, is online. That's my shameless plug. I am an ambassador for the Success Women's Conference.
Okay.
But also I have another book that is coming out actually next week, Courageous Enough to Launch. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I love it.
And the visionary is Dr. Cheryl Wood. It's about 50 women telling their stories about challenge and through situations. My chapter is purpose through your pain. Because a lot of times we have went through very traumatic situations, but how do you turn that pain into purpose? How do you not let it defeat you and get you to the point where it breaks you, even in the professional world? Because, you know, everybody doesn't play fair when it comes on the
Especially when it
professional.
comes to us, yes.
Just not into the professional side of it, and how even if you have challenges, not to give up. And wherever God places you, it doesn't matter. You know, people can try to claw at you, try to stab you in the back, do different things. It's, you know, just try to tear you down. But it's, you know, the chapter that I'm talking about in Courageous Enough to Launch is how even with those situations that could have broke me, that I stayed the course. And I wouldn't be where I am today if I would have let external forces and even some external things of self-doubt get in my way. So I'm thankful for that as well. We Women Ministries was birthed out of some situations. I am a survivor of different forms of abuse. And God gave me the vision to reach back to women who were going through not only abuse, but different self-image issues, self-esteem issues. October, I'm going to start a mentorship program for adults.
Oh, yeah.
For women, because a lot of times we are reaching out to the youth in the community, but what about the ladies who are off track and need help and need assistance? Who's, you know, and I think in the olden days, it was seasoned saints in the church who used to walk alongside the women when different things were going on. They'll help babysit, they'll help feed the children if the mom didn't have any money, different things of that nature. Encourage them and let them know that it'll be okay, baby. And you're not gonna remember some of the old ones say, it'll be okay, baby. It's gonna be fine. Yeah. But where they, you know, it's not like that today a lot of times. So I want to get, you know, women wherever they are in their life. I know I've been talking to some of them, you know, on the streets doing different stuff with their body and their mind, and just really lost. But what about the women who came through situations, and how can you help those women? You know, none of us have been where we are all the time.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Knowing that, I tell people all the time, I said, you see what's not even a fully polished product when you look at me. You see a product of being through a fire. You see a phoenix rising. You see a person who's been through a lot and refused to let what she went through destroy her. That's what you see. But don't look at me for one moment and doubt that there was something that took me, that I was taken through to be able to get here. And I think that's so important, because we oftentimes, when we get to the side where we feel like we can breathe a little more, we forget that we once struggled. So once we receive everything we prayed for, we forget that we have to continue to pray too. So, or that we have to reach back and help our sisters. So I love that you have these different initiatives that are happening with We Women Ministries and with what you're going to be doing with mentorship, because that's amazing. And it kind of leads into where my question was going to go with your impact on the African-American Black community, but you really just targeted. But if you would just highlight some of the things that you know between your different brands and organizations, what is your direct impact to our community?
To our community, I'll start with our R3SM. A lot of the households that we're impacting are low income, some single parent households, elderly and disabled. Some of the people that we're dealing with only bringing in $800 a month. And think about that. On top of that, you lose everything and you don't have a home, and you already were behind on your bills. So now you're supposed to rebuild a home and you don't have anything.
Yeah.
And you weren't able to pay insurance because you already don't have any extra money and you're already struggling. So with our agency, we partner with a lot of groups. We even have volunteers come as far as Canada yearly to rebuild our communities. Not, yes, ma'am. In the last about 3 years, we've had over about 3,000 volunteers. And that equates to about $300 million in volunteer labor.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. Volunteers are our bread and butter, and they've been with us so long in certain groups, and they're just faithful. COVID, of course, has halted that some, but we still have local churches and volunteers who are still filling in the gaps. So that's why it's always important we give kudos to the ones that come from out of state and out of town, but also our local volunteers who, a lot of them are retirees and they don't have to help.
True.
They're not struggling, but they see the need in our community. So, the fact that people a lot of time who don't even look like us, see that there's a need in the Black community, that really means a lot. That shows me, that gives me hope in people as a whole, because they see that there's a gap, that they know that it has been disadvantages to our community for years. And so a lot of times they're trying to see how can they give back, because they know that our communities have suffered from different things. So by the fact that they're stepping up, that says a lot about them, because they don't have to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To use their privilege to help those who have been disenfranchised and disadvantaged and polarized for so many years is truly amazing. So that makes me happy to know that you're even providing a platform for people to be able to do this. So what is, I know that you kind of touched a little bit about as far as COVID affecting your volunteer hours or your volunteer manpower to be able to come and support. How else has it affected your brands over this year?
We have, I'm in behind me, and we have a volunteer house. Is 10,000 square feet. It was a fully renovated. It used to be a boarding house for the railroad. So we're able to house volunteers, up to 60 volunteers in our volunteer house. That's a majority of our income that we bring in every year. Of course, that income has been slashed dramatically. So it did put a, burden on us financially. But like I say, God always have a ram in the bush. So we were able to get some unexpected funding to go in place of that. So I'm very thankful for that. But we do still need support on that side of it. But COVID really has changed it also with the precautionary measures, with meeting. Most of the time we have site visits, we have construction managers that go to the homes to have extra precaution in place with them, as far as any clients, doing a COVID screening. Have they been in contact with somebody with COVID? Do they have symptoms? And doing those regular checks, and also having another screening when they directly get to the home. So it has put in some extra measures for precaution in the building, and also when we're out in the field.
Well, you know what? All that makes perfect sense now. I think if COVID has taught us anything, it's taught us to be cautious of how we're managing our sanitary practices, or being safe, or being careful. All those things have been truly, in a sense, it's been inconvenience for the original purpose of it. But when you think about it, taking these extra steps to make sure that all of your team members and personnel are healthy, even the clients that you're working with are healthy, it's just going to become good practice. So I think that's one great thing that we could take from this pandemic. What else is there that you would like for people to know about your brands, about your businesses? I know you got a book launching next week, so that's exciting. So we got to make sure we plug that. But what are some other things that you would want people to know, and how can we support these businesses? Because I heard you speak of, with R3SM, definitely needing donations and things like that. So tell us a little bit about what is it that you want us to know, and what is it that we can do to support your initiatives?
With R3SM, you can go on our website, www.r3sm.org. We do have an initiative for a 301 club. The address of the volunteer house is 301 Bushman Street. It's right across the street from the historic train station. So the house has been here for over 100 years. We're very thankful for that. So you can even break up the payments to $25 a month to spread it out over the year as well. So that's a meal going somewhere. So a lot of the money that we do receive goes directly back into the community. I would like to say we have a skeleton staff with a lot of supportive volunteers. So that's how we do it. We have a skeleton staff with a lot of supporting key volunteers. Awesome. It's like I would say, it's as far as how we're able to operate. being able to affect the lives of people in our community, you know, with those people. A lot of the people who receive new houses and the major rehabs, even if they worked every day for the rest of their life, would have not been able to purchase a new home.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's the reality of it. And you're giving those people generational wealth, because most of them will pass those homes down to their children or grandchildren. And we're not just doing one house at a time, but with our last disaster, it was a whole community.
Wow.
One of them had, you know, in one block, we rebuilt 7 new homes. And you can see them from one space, and it's a block, and it's 7 new constructions. And you can just, and one day I was riding, and I got out of my truck, and I looked, and I said, look at God.
Yep.
Because I would have never imagined that, but you are rebuilding not just families, but whole communities.
Yes. Yes. It makes you
And
want to just step back and say, okay, God, like I would have never written
I
this
would
in
have
my
never
plan.
imagined.
I would have never imagined, and look at what he's done. And that's kind of what we were talking about before we started recording, was just seeing like the transformation, right? What we've aspired to become, and then what we've actually become over the years of just growing and doing different things and manifesting things. When you think about that, what would you tell your younger self if you had a chance to just grab her up real quick and say, I need to tell you something? And
I
you
gotta
only
put
had a
my
few
suit
seconds. What would
coat
you say?
on for this.
Huh?
Put my suit coat on for this. I would say, Mavis, girl, you are fabulous. You are great. You are anointed. You are the daughter of the Most High, and don't take no crap, not from yourself or anybody else. You
Yes.
can do it. Do not fold. Do not give up. You were built for this.
Yes.
Black women, we were built for this. We done went through the
Absolutely.
most crap and mess, and we still get up, wipe our face off, and keep it moving. I would tell younger self, you ain't got to put up with no bull. You can do it, and just put one foot in front of the other. It's
And it
not the
sounds
worst that
like
they
that's
have.
the message that you have for all Black women. For I know that
Yeah,
your mentees are going to hear that a lot once you start speaking with them, because that's the message that you have, and that's the message that you've been presenting for years now. So I'm very proud of you, Mavis. Like,
thank you. I'm so proud of you too. I said,
thank you. It's truly beautiful. Tell everybody, you gave us your website, r3sm.org. What are some ways we can follow you on social media?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn for all those business professionals. Also, I'm on Instagram, even though I just started with that. But Facebook, you can really get in touch with me, Mavis Creagh. I'm there almost all the time in some fashion or form. We in Ministries, I have created a group, but I will be creating a page very soon. Mavis A. Creagh. I am going to be one of the speakers at my first national conference, the Comeback Champion Summit. And so I'm with Chai Brown, who's the and that'll be in October. So I'm very thankful for that as well. Also, the Success Women's Conference will be virtual. I'm an ambassador for that this year. And as well with Dr. Cheryl Wood, she has a conference that's coming out in October as well, SpeakerCon. So for anybody who's interested, especially now in the virtual world, to get into the speaking arena, to learn more about it, or just to be blessed with your business, because it's going to be powerhouses, multi-millionaires, everybody speaking. COVID really has flattened the plane for everybody, the playing field. So for me, being a girl, I was at the site where I grew up yesterday, and I went back, and some said right by there. The house is not there anymore, but I just thought about where I started. In a 5-room house, not 5 bedrooms, but 5 rooms with 7 people. And to say, look at me today, running a $1 million business, $1 million house with a 10,000 square foot building that I have the keys to. And to put that into perspective, that it's no matter where you start, but it's the journey.
That's right. That's right, honey. The last question that I have, and I think it's going to be the most profound. I love to ask all of my interviewees this, is what's one word that affirms who you are?
Victory.
Tell us why.
Because I've been through so many different seasons and so many different situations.
Mhm.
But I proclaim that I should be victorious, no matter what the situations, no matter what is thrown at me, no matter, even if I feel like my legs have been chopped up from
Mm.
beneath me. That
Yes.
don't matter. I want to be victorious, and I shall win, and I shall be prosperous.
That's
And
right.
it doesn't matter what happens. It's gonna be okay.
That's
And
right.
I used to tell myself at even the worst times, and people would think I was crazy because even with R3SM, we have been through valleys. I
Right.
mean, like, oh yeah, like valleys. Like I helped rebuild the brand, and you know, like any nonprofit, you can go through real hard seasons, and we've been through the worst.
Absolutely.
But now to look at us now and being able to still help people on a whole different scale, I think that just really toughened me up and prepared me for the new season. So sometimes when you're going through those real difficult and hard seasons, it's like a meat tenderizer. It's
Yeah.
just getting you ready for your next season. And
Yeah.
if I wouldn't have went through some of the stuff that I had went through, then I wouldn't have been ready for the new season. I wouldn't have had the grit and the determination and I say bulldog tenacity to just get it
Yes.
done however you need to get it done.
Yes, all of that, sis. Yes, we
Right.
go through those seasons, we go through those valleys because there's a lesson to be learned in it all. And when we learn that lesson and we truly experience it, when it's time for us to elevate to the next season, we carry those things with us. Not to harp on the bad times, but to remember them so that as we walk into that new season, we know what we've come through, right? So we
Yes,
enjoy our prosperity and we enjoy our season of growth and season of victory and season of success when we're in it because we know what it feels like to be on the other side.
that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
I am so excited for all that you have to come. I cannot wait until the release of this next book so I can get into that.
Oh,
Everybody, make sure you go and check her out. Be sure to pay attention to the information that we're going to include about her social media, the websites, and ways that you can get in touch with this dynamic woman. She is truly a dope Black woman doing amazing Black things for the people of Mississippi and women everywhere. Thank you so much, Mavis, for being with us today. I'm so happy that you took the time out to interview with me. I
thank
appreciate
you
you.
so much.
Sending love and light to you, sis.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.